Hello guys, welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to talk about something really important. That thing is very important and very dangerous. In fact, let me go straight to the point. What I'm talking about is identity politics. Identity politics is very dangerous. It is in fact, the reason, the singular reason for whatever you may think of, the singular reason why or the tool that is being used to underdevelop every country in sub-Saharan Africa. I am going to talk about specifically about sub-Saharan African countries. The divide the thing that or the tool that is being used to destroy those countries that prevents them from developing or moving forward or progressing is simply identity politics. A good example is Nigeria. I am a Nigerian. From my accent, you're supposed to know that. So Nigeria is a basket example of identity politics or the dangers of identity politics. I will finally connect it to these two people here you can see on your screen. So the thing is this: Nigeria, or should I say, Nigeria, as every other African country, or 99% of every African sub-Saharan African country, just couldn't progress as a result of playing this dangerous identity politics, which we call dangerous diversity. You can call it dangerous diversity, or you call it identity politics, because that's exactly what it is. So in Africa, you find out that 99% of the countries there are just failed states. They are all failed states. 99, or let me say 98%. It's either they are failed. In fact, it's either they are failed states, or they are on highway to failure. They're on the highway to failure. Basically, they are just there is nothing good to write them about. So why? As I said earlier, identity. I want to hammer this so that to get into your head and stay there. So the reason being that, or how identity politics destroys the country is this. Now let me tell you a story or history. Let's go back a little bit into history. When the British landed in Nigeria, or when they got Nigeria, there were a lot of natural resources to take home. But the thing is, if you just go, you can't just, I mean, you can't just barge into the place like a conquistador and start, exploiting the area and taking the resources and, taking them home. No, you will meet some resistance. In fact, you have to, do some kind of horse trading with the locals. You have to do some deals with the locals in order to have your way. But then it is a lot cheaper for the British to, how do I put it, to use another style instead of saying, okay, let's have a deal with the locals and we'll take 50%, take 50%, we take 40%, I take 60, or hash a deal with them. In fact, it is much easier for them to try to set brother against brother. Once they set brother against brother, the two brothers begin to fight, or the two communities, or should I say the communities that occupy that area. Let's say it's a mine, or is a where they mine anything. So the communities that live there, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 communities, the indigenous people indigenous to that area, they've been living there for years. They start fighting one another, and as they are fighting, excuse me for that sound. I'm in an open place, so there are cars passing by. So once the locals are fighting one another, they're too busy fighting one another. The British will simply go to the background and do whatever they want to do, exploit as much as they want to. In fact, it became so bad that the reason why the people are fighting is that they are fighting for who will be the one to provide security for the British while the British are exploiting the area. It's quite unfortunate. They're just fighting. They're fighting, and that's it. So why the people are fighting, or why we are fighting, The British are busy taking whatever they want to take. How can we progress using that system? It is impossible. There's no way. There's no way you can progress. After all, for progress to exist, there must be peace. Peace. It must be in a peaceful area. Because when we are too concerned with fighting one another, how can we have the chance or the space for progress? It's impossible. Which is the reason why majority of every Africa of all the African countries are just either failed states or on their way to failure, and they are racing towards it, towards failure. Now, there is this country called Botswana, because this is now another. The Botswana is kind of the polar, or should I say, exact opposite of the story of the typical African story. Botswana is a country in Southern Africa. It's a country you don't hear about because it's simply, should I say, it is not the typical African story of failure. In fact, Botswana is an African success. Here is the country. This is Botswana right here. So, why is Botswana succeeding or progressing? Why is Botswana progressing while Nigeria and almost all of these useless countries here are failing? Even this big one here, this one called Republic of South Africa. Why is this one progressing and all these other ones are failing? It's simply because of the historical background of this country. The British never had the opportunity to implement the divide and rule or divide and conquer and implement the identity politics, the dangerous diversity. No, they didn't have the opportunity. So what happened? It's simply because, you see, after the Berlin Conference, I think in 1881, this is one of the countries that the British got in this area. But the difference between here and, for example, Nigeria is that this one is an arid place. It's arid, there is nothing there. The people there are just surviving. While here is jam-packed. Here, for example, Nigeria, it is jam-packed with natural resources. Everything you can think of, here you get it. So they had the should I say, the platform to do the identity politics here, to divide everyone. But here, there was no need of doing it because there is just nothing. The country is not going to give you anything. Just an arid land with nothing growing on it. So, in fact, it's so bad that the British were subsidizing their presence here by, using the money, the funds that they got from all other colonies they got. So it became so much that they were like, no, you can't continue like this anymore. So one day, they just packed up their things and left. They didn't even tell the locals they were leaving. They just left, just like that. So the locals organized themselves, declared independence, and nobody even cared that they declared independence. While these other ones, before declaring independence, they had to, do a lot of things. But this one is just declaring independence, and they're like, oh no, get out of here. What do you even have? Go. We don't need you. Unfortunately for the good people of Botswana, they discovered a lot of diamonds under the feet of these people, on the ground, below the feet of these people, or below I don't know how to put it. On the ground there were lots of diamond, a lot. So these guys began exploiting those diamonds, began mining those diamonds on their own terms. Everything was done based on what they wanted, not what the colonial master wanted. It's based on what the local people of Botswana wanted. So the British were not there to set brother against brother. So they did everything on their own terms. The sharing formula, the how they are going to distribute the funds, the money, everything was done the right way. The right investments were made because they didn't have any other thing. So because of that, that country is progressing. It's a very, very, very nice country. Botswana. That is why you don't hear about Botswana in the news, because it's not your typical African story of a failure upon failure. So that uh, this is an indictment of identity politics in areas, or in an area where, in fact, the only area where there was no identity politics is a success story. While all of these other places where identity politics dominates, they are just failure upon failure upon failure upon failure. Nothing to write home about. Okay? So, which brings me to these two people here. These ones, they are not. This is, of course, I don't need to tell you who these people are. They are not running on any. They are not running on any policy. They don't have any policy. They don't have any platform. Nothing. What are they using? Identity politics. Oh, vote for me. I am a black woman. I am a black woman. Vote for me. I am a black woman. You see? That is the only thing she says. I am a black woman. That's all. So, as I was saying, this one is saying, vote for me because I am a black woman. And this is his her vice president. So, she's running on identity politics. She doesn't have any other platform. She just, apart from abortion, so-called reproductive rights. I don't know anybody who is saying you shouldn't reproduce. Because you say reproductive rights. So when you say reproductive rights, it's as if there is a law made somewhere that you said you must not reproduce. Okay. I digress. So this lady is dangerous. What she's proposing to you guys, especially you black Americans, is very dangerous. You don't have to experience, they say, is the best teacher, but it doesn't have to be your own experience, because if it's your own experience you rely on only, then you might not be alive, or yes, you might not be alive to tell your story. Now, let me give you a good example of Nigeria again. I am a Nigerian, so I will tell you all these things. I will kind of compare and contrast. Nigeria is a very good example. As I said earlier, is a basket case of identity, the dangers of identity politics. Right now, the current president of Nigeria is a man called Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Yesterday, that is in 2023, there was an election in the country. Then this guy did a lot. He played a lot of. He cheated like tomorrow doesn't exist, or like tomorrow didn't exist at all. He cheated to win. Now he's the president. So what did he do? Number one, before cheating, there were things he did, which I believe that this lady is about to play on you guys, and you guys are so blind to see it, which is quite unfortunate. So what Tinubu did was this. The last administration was run by a guy called Muhammadu Buhari. From his name, he's a Muslim. So Nigeria has to basically, politically, or should I say politically, has two regions, the northern region and the southern region. So the northern region is mainly Muslims, and the southern, I'm just trying to break it down, to level of a 5-year-old, while the southern region is mainly Christians. So for you to have any office in Nigeria, it's either you're a Christian or you're a Muslim. If you are a worshipper of traditional African religion, there is nothing for you. Nothing. You're not going to go anywhere. So they have, or we have, because I'm a Nigerian, but the way things are going, I'm like kind of seceded in my mind from that country. So what they did was, what they have something called federal character. So that federal character is a bit like what you have in the United States of America called affirmative action. So to do things in such a way that whenever it comes to anything national, to appoint people, to make everybody feel they belong, nobody's gonna be left out, and all that. So with this federal character stuff, if you are a Muslim if you are running if you are running for presidency and you're a Muslim, you must have a Christian vice president. or vice versa. That is to say, if you're a Christian, you must have a Muslim. Sorry, if you're a Christian, yeah, if you are a Christian, you have a Muslim vice president. So basically, which means if you're from the south, you be a Christian, then you will be your vice president will be a Muslim from the north, or vice versa. So this last administration was a Muslim as president and vice president as a Christian, or a Christian as a vice president. So when Mr. Tinubu, who is a Muslim, actually, he is a Muslim, but his own case is that he's from the south. He's from the southern part of Nigeria, not from the north. So this is a little bit of anomaly. So what he should have done is to take a northern Christian, because there are also Christians in the northern part of Nigeria. You see? So it's not 50-50. There are lots of gray areas here and there. So that's what he's supposed to do. So instead, he went with identity politics because, number one, he had no platform. He had no ideology. He had no manifesto. He had no, what is it called again? He had no plans, economic plans, political plans, nothing. He was just running on fumes. Or fume, I don't know how you, yes, on fumes. He was running basically on fumes. And what are those? Identity politics. Vote for me because I am a Muslim. He went to the northern part of the country and told them, vote for me because I am a Muslim. You guys are Muslim. You should also vote for me as a Muslim. I know what again? He then chose a vice president who is also a Muslim. So basically, he just want to lock the northern votes. So once he locks up that northern votes, he then look for votes on the south here and there and patch everything up and emerge winner. But in this case, the Southerners didn't even vote for him at all. He lost almost every state in the south. But he cheated. What gave him the platform to cheat is simply because of those block votes he got from the northern votes. In fact, that's the platform on which he stood to conduct a massive election rigging that happened in that country. So, fast forward 1 year later, the very people who gave him those votes, those massive votes, he though it was not enough, you understand, it wasn't enough to let him win, but he got that block of those votes. Then, based on it, he carried out the election rigging. So those people that gave him those block votes, they are now the ones against him. They are literally fighting against him like tomorrow doesn't exist. And they are the ones saying, "Oh no, he deceived us. He deceived us. He deceived us into the Muslim ticket. What betide us?" As if we thought it was a joke. The next thing we saw this, they carried out a massive protest against him. 10 straight days of protest against Tinubu. Well, I'm just sitting by the side with my popcorn, watching them. Let them destroy one another. I don't care. That's not my business. But what is my business is these two guys you're seeing on your screen. If these guys play you, you're finished. You are completely finished. It's over for you. Because, you see, the statement that goes, all skin folks and kin folks, that statement is 100% true till tomorrow. Why? Because yes, they look like you, but what you have in mind may not be the same thing he has in mind or she has in mind. Tinubu, for example, in Nigeria, he had in mind to go to the presidency and use it to, better his own self and his own family, not for the good of the country, which is what these two guys are doing. So, how do you know when somebody is about to do that? It's very simple. He doesn't have any platform to run on, just as these two. They don't have any platform to run on. Now, this is their website. This is their website. So, here. So, where is the platform? Where are the policies? Nothing. There's nothing here. Just begging you for money. They will beg you for money. You give them money. You also give them your votes. Do you know how much the votes costs? If You give me $250,000. What I mean, you give me $1 million for my vote. I will say no, because you know what you are gunning for. That's why you want to give me money to buy my vote with such a huge amount of money. But in this case, I am the one giving you money again, which is complete BS. Anyway, I also heard that they are paying influencers, TikTok influencers, to influence people. So there is nothing. They are practically running on fumes. Now let's go to this guy, Donald Trump. Yes, people hate him. Okay, no problem. You can hate him as much as you want. I mean, I don't care. When he was president of America, the whole world was good, man. The whole world was great. The whole world was great, man. Even economically, even Africa, that you always hear, oh, Africa is doing this economically, is going bad. During his presidency, times were great. So here are his policies. They have about 20 bullet points. You see? So you can go through all of them. I don't want to spend so much time going through them. So what I'm saying is this. That guy that is telling you, vote for me, just vote for me. Like, if you don't vote for me, oh my God, woe betide you. Vote for me because I look like you. He's a scammer. That is a typical Nigerian prince scam. That's a typical Nigerian prince scam. He should be able to tell you what he's going to do for you. In fact, a few days ago, is it yesterday? The next thing I heard was that she was going to remove taxes on tips, but she is the one that also signed the bill that that gave the what's it called? Is it the breaking vote or something in Congress? You know, when it is tied between the left and the right, then there is this one vote that will come and break the tie. She is the one that gave the tie breaking vote for, to sign, or should I say to make a law that stipulates that tips should be taxed. So after giving the tie-breaking vote, she again will come around and tell you, "Oh no, I am going to stop taxing on tips." I mean, are you insane? Huh? Are you insane to believe her? Come on. In California, when she was the AG of California, she was just locking up black men like tomorrow doesn't exist. She didn't care. I'm not interested in the India or not India. No, that's not my problem. She can be red, she can be blue, she can be whatever. I don't care whatever color she has. So this woman is deceiving you. Huh? This lady is deceiving you guys. And you are not alive to your responsibilities. That is the worst part of everything. This woman is deceiving you. You are not alive to your responsibilities. Because if you were alive, in fact, in her own campaign, in her campaign grounds, there shouldn't be anybody found there. Not even an ant should be found there. An ordinary ant shouldn't even go there. She should be avoided like a plague. But you hear many of the black people, not all of them, but many black, oh no, vote for her, she's black. Just everything is just based on emotions. She just emotions, just as Tinubu did to the northern Muslims, because he told them Allah approves of a Muslim president, but then one Muslim is good, but two Muslims are even better. So they were like, yeah. Oh my God. So this is exactly the trap you guys are falling into. And I can assure you that if you make that mistake, you only have yourselves to blame. And let me tell you, Americans, especially you black Americans, you have nowhere to go. You won't even be coming to Africa because this place cannot accommodate you. That's it. I'm just telling you the simple truth. I'm just telling you the simple truth. This place cannot accommodate you. Nigerians, they are fleeing. The rate at which Nigerians are fleeing their country right now. My God. If that continues in the next 5 years, there will be nobody left in that country. They just concluded the Olympic Games. Nigeria won no medal. Not even a plastic or a stone or even a wooden medal. Not even one. But even the United States of America had several Nigerians competing for them, and they won gold medals, silver and bronze. Why Nigeria is zero? Because all the good people are just running away, fleeing. What we call the Jabba syndrome. People just running away. The currency is trash. It just keeps on losing value, like tomorrow doesn't exist. Huh? Everything is so expensive, just as you have in America now. Joe Biden, what was he running on? Nothing. Just basically on films. Look at the economy. Zero. Nonsense. So I don't know if it is identity you are going for. You forget about your the rent. You forget about gas money. You forget about transportation. You forget about what is it called? Money for food. I don't know if I talked about it. Electricity or energy bills. You forget about those things, and many, many, many other important things that you need to pay. You need money to solve. Many other important problems, or should I say, many other problems that you need money to solve. But you based on identity politics because you're just too stupid to know what is going on. You are too emotional. I mean, you're too. How do I put it? You're too. You are just an emotional person. You are too emotional. You are too emotional to see the truth. You're too emotional to see the SHIT that is in front of you. Look, let me tell you guys. You don't need to test her to see how good she is. We have already. I mean, you don't need to. How do I put it? Yeah, you don't need to test her to see how good or bad she is. We've seen everything from her in California. I mean, there's a saying that you don't need to eat shit in order to understand how good or bad the shit tastes. Just smell the fat. You will understand whether it is delicious or the taste is horrible. And this woman is very horrible. So, to be forewarned is to be forearmed. If you guys make the mistake of voting for this woman, sorry, as always I have to say to you guys, nowhere on this planet will contain you guys or will accommodate you. Nowhere. So hopefully you will watch this video and learn. Please share this video, like it if you do, comment, tell me what you feel. So I will talk about other things too. Anyway, goodbye. Thank you. See you next time.